About 20 years ago, Dal-Tokki mom was a university student, just a little over 20. At some point, questions began to appear in my mind. What is the most important thing in the world? What is the foundation of all learning? Why do humans suffer? Why does pain exist? Is there a way to live without pain? No one gave me these questions. I didn't learn them from anywhere, they simply kept coming, and they never went away, so I began to think about them. And eventually, I started to wonder, if I could study these questions as an academic discipline. I asked myself, what should I study, if I want to find answers to these questions? As I searched and searched, I came across philosophy for the first time. At the same time, I learned that there was something called a department of philosophy. At that time, I didn't really know what philosophy was. Still, I began visiting professors. What is philosophy? What do you learn if you study philosophy? Looking back, they were naive and unexpected questions. Some professors quietly smiled, and even told me not to come to the philosophy department, but strangely, no one gave me a clear answer to what philosophy truly was. That only made me more confused, and at the same time, more deeply drawn in. Then I discovered ethics. Ethics was a branch of philosophy, a field that deals with values, right and wrong, and how human beings ought to live. At that moment, I thought, this might be the closest path to the questions I have been carrying. So I made a decision. I left my original major in design, and changed my field of study to ethics. It was a big decision, but I did not hesitate. It was not an escape, it was not a rejection of reality. I was simply, deeply curious. No one could answer those questions for me. I wanted to find the answers myself, so I spent many nights thinking, struggling, and questioning myself in pain. That is how Dal-Tokki mom began philosophy, not because I became a mother, not because of a wound or trauma, but because I wanted to understand what it means to be human, and to understand suffering itself. That was the beginning of my philosophy. That is why Dal-Tokki mom chose philosophy. Would you like to join me, and listen to the story of my philosophical journey?